I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about, should I attempt to reconcile? Well, one of the things that we often think about during a breakup is, do I really want to reconcile with this person? Obviously, every relationship is different and every situation is different. So, depending upon what actually happened in your relationship, you really need to think about, is this relationship going to be healthy for me to get back into? Is this going to be really beneficial to me in the long run? Because in the short term, of course, we feel like, I got to get this person back. I feel like I'm dying without them. But in the long run, you need to think about, can it be a healthy relationship? And of course, as you start to learn the things that I teach about attachment styles and traumas, and now that you see that me and Margaret have started tackling the really difficult subjects like narcissism or borderline or personality disorders, you can see that there is a lot more to a relationship than I'm attracted to this person and I like that person in my life. There's so much more, and there's even a lot more to it than I love them. Because you can love somebody but not necessarily be with them in a romantic relationship, because it could be destructive or even abusive at times. And there's certainly no reason to stay with somebody if you're going to be in an abusive relationship. So, of course, one of the things that you're doing is evaluating how you treated your partner in that relationship. How they treated you. Can it be worked out? Of course, if you have two committed adults, it absolutely can be worked out in most situations, I think. But it takes two people to really want to make that work. And even if they're not wanting to talk with you or speak with you in the current moment, it doesn't mean it's going to stay like that forever. So keep that in mind. I have a really good email today. Before I get to that, I always forget to tell you guys to go to my website, sign up for my email list, okay? I'm constantly considering different ways to give you content that I wouldn't necessarily put on YouTube. For example, maybe if I'm going to write an article or share some information going on my end that you might want to need or want to know, I wouldn't necessarily put it in a video or want to talk about it in a video, as when I say something in a video, it's up there forever. So if it's something short term, I don't want to confuse somebody down the line. So go to my website. At the bottom of the home page is an email list. It just says sign up for my email list. I don't spam you or anything like that. Everything is just for me to share information with you, maybe weekly, but I often just put out an email every couple weeks depending upon what's going on. So today's email is a really interesting one, and the woman in this email is in her mid-50s, and she wants to know, should I reconcile with this guy? Should I try and make it work? Let me share her story with you and see what's going on here. So, like I said, she's in her mid-50s, and the guy's around the same age, and they've been dating together for about a year. Now, it was long distance, so they only got to see each other a couple times a week. Now, not super long distance, like out of state, but like a few hours away. Now, they each have one child, but not together, through separate marriages. And the thing about that is that they're older, and his daughter is in her 20s, okay? Now that's important. This is an important part of the story, because this is a big part of the whole situation. So, according to her, she says that he states he had a happy childhood, parents happily married, and describes his father as dominating, stubborn, and too difficult to work for. That's an interesting contrast. He says that he had a good childhood and the parents were happily married, but the father's dominating, stubborn, and too difficult to work for. Well, do you think that this guy's mom would say they had a happy marriage. The mom passed away, by the way. I would say no, because who would want to be with a partner that's dominating, stubborn, or too difficult to work for? So, obviously, his home life wasn't as great as he's saying it is. Okay, so we're going to call this guy Filbert. Okay, just because it's an absolutely ridiculous name and it makes me laugh. So, Filbert is the guy, and now he was married at 28, and he had a daughter, and he got divorced about 5 years ago. The woman in this email has never been married. She raised her son on her own, and her son, I guess had minimal contact with the father of her son because he's not interested. Nice guy, right? For the life of me, will never be able to understand how anybody could have a child and not want to see this kid as much as possible. Very, very bizarre and just foreign to me. I don't understand that. So, 4 weeks leading up to the breakup, she was upset at Filbert's daughter being constantly rude to her. She will not say hello to her, or says to Filbert, now the daughter says to her father, Filbert, why do you spend so much time with Sasha every weekend? Okay, so remember, this girl is in her 20s, and she's really angry, and maybe she's upset because her mom passed away, but she should want to see her dad happy. I mean, who wouldn't want to see their dad happy? She's not trying to replace the mom. The mom already has passed away. And yet she's really angry and jealous. Okay? Doesn't sound very healthy to me. Now, according to Sasha, she says, we don't even see each other because she often works on Sundays. So maybe they're seeing each other like Friday and Saturdays, and the daughter's jealous of this. Why is this 20-something-year-old woman worried about what her father does on a Friday and a Saturday? Very odd, right? Does not sound healthy. He states, I feel guilty for not being as available to my daughter. He does not address the issue as he fears she will not speak to him and give him the silent treatment as she has in the past when she's upset. Look at this woman's behavior. Now we're talking about Filbert's daughter who's in her 20s. He can't even speak with his own daughter like an adult because he's afraid she's gonna cut him off, not speak to him, give him the silent treatment. And look at all the control she has over this man. That is not okay, and it's not healthy, okay? And if you're in a situation like this, he's going to have to deal with this and want to deal with it, but it sounds like he's very scared to. So I wonder why he's afraid to talk like that to her and say, look, I love you, you're my daughter, but you're in your 20s, and I got to have somewhat of a social life. I'm here most days or nights out of the week, and I only get to see my girlfriend 2 days a week. Like, come on. That is not healthy. Not good. She said she pushed the issue, and he informs me that the daughter, Filbert's daughter, and Filbert's father don't like her. When I asked why, he said, I don't know. Well, wouldn't that be a reasonable question to ask? Why don't you like my girlfriend? What's the issue? I don't think it's rational. I don't think it's logical. I think that there's something going on where maybe they feel like she's trying to replace the wife, his ex-wife that passed away, and maybe the grandfather is just going along with the daughter. I don't know what's going on, but they're tag teaming on this poor woman, but we don't know why. Doesn't sound healthy though. Okay? She said, I'm very frustrated and I feel betrayed. I have tried hard to socialize with the daughter and the father. So she's made an effort, and yet they are not reciprocating, they're not opening up. Maybe they just don't like the idea of her. Maybe they feel like spending time with anybody takes away from them and their needs being met. Okay. He said he can't handle me confronting him and his family dynamics. He states he is just close to daughter. I told him he's enmeshed. Well, if he was so close to the daughter, then why could he not have a sit down and say, what's going on? Why don't you like this woman? Why won't you give her a chance? Why are you upset with me spending time with her? None of this sounds healthy, right? It sounds like there's some real drama going on. Maybe some trauma. And my gut just tells me like there's like a personality disorder going on here or something close to it, right? Something just doesn't feel right about the situation to me. Okay. She said, I suggest many ways to try and problem solve this. So she's acting like an adult, trying to say, well, let's try and figure this out. Let's work on this. Filbert does not want to for fear of upsetting his daughter. Very odd. Very bizarre that he would allow his daughter to manipulate her, and he's scared of her moods, right? If you think about it, it's almost like he's afraid of how she'll react. Initially, I am calm, but as time goes on, I become verbally aggressive and leave his home while on a visit because I'm feeling second fiddle. I tell him the same. So you're not feeling like he cared about you, and rightfully so, because he's prioritizing the daughter and the father, which of course he's going to consider, because that's his family, but he's also not sticking up for you and saying, hey, what's going on here? Can we work this out? Filbert informs me on the phone, I can't do this anymore. I can't deal with your verbal aggression, and ends the relationship. Well, it sounds like what was going on was he wasn't giving you a chance. The daughter and the father were causing frustration. You're starting to feel like you don't care, you're not cared about. You're trying to correct it. Of him dealing with it and saying, let's correct it, he's like, I can't deal with this, and he's backing away, and then you're getting more and more angry. And I don't blame you. I would be upset too in this situation. He made many plans with me about our future together. These were his suggestions, not mine, but I was very happy with the same. At this point in time, I am happy not to contact him, but I'm very sad, thought he was the one. Should I attempt to reconcile? I feel like he did not make enough time for our relationship anyway. I am very upset he's allowing his adult daughter to run his life. Well, I would be very frustrated and upset in this situation too. And I certainly would not be chasing this man when he is making his father and his daughter a priority, and he's not even attempting to repair it. Because it'd be one thing if you guys were trying to work this through and act like adults, but he's not, and none of them seem to be. If you think about it, the daughter's not, the grandfather's not, and the son is not. So it doesn't seem like it's a situation where they're mentally healthy and they're going to be able to act and communicate like adults. It sounds like the daughter punishes him, she's controlling, she's manipulative. Maybe there's some kind of personality disorder going on there, or close to it. It feels like there's something on the spectrum there for her to be like this. I mean, she's in her 20s and she's trying to control her father's life. That's not good. And you're not going to be happy in this situation unless he decides to act like an adult and say, look, this woman's important to me. I know you don't like her right now. Let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. Let's work it out. Until that happens, this situation's not going to go anywhere. And you chasing after him and trying to make him or convince him to act like an adult simply isn't going to happen. He's got to have to want that. And right now, he's not showing any signs of that. So no, I would not try and attempt to reconcile the situation unless he decides he wants to act like an adult. But my guess is that based on the family dynamics here, it's probably not going to happen because all three of them are showing like a generational set of like manipulative, controlling, angry, destructive behavior. I mean, it's starting with the way he describes his own father earlier on in the email. So, If you want to get my help personally, go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype coaching. And be sure to like the video. I do appreciate that. That's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.